Imagine a day that starts like any other. The morning is calm and the air is crisp. Farmers wake up early, ready to tend to their fields, hopeful for a good harvest. The sun rises, casting a warm glow on the Great Plains. The golden light spreads across the land, promising a new day. But this is not an ordinary day. By noon the sky turns dark, a monstrous black cloud swallowing the horizon. The once clear sky is now a harbinger of doom. It's a dust storm, and it's heading your way. The winds pick up speed, and you can feel the tension in the air. The wind howls, whipping up the dry topsoil into a blinding, choking dust. The force of nature is relentless, and there's no escaping it. The air is thick with grit, making it hard to breathe. Visibility drops to almost nothing, and the world around you becomes an endless sea of dust. You rush inside, desperately trying to seal out the dust. Every second counts as you fight to protect your home and family. But it seeps through every crack, every crevice. No matter how hard you try, the dust finds its way in, coating everything in a fine layer of despair. The sun is gone, replaced by an eerie orange twilight. The world outside looks alien, transformed by the storm's fury. The storm rages for hours, sometimes days. The relentless wind and dust show no mercy, leaving you trapped in a nightmare that seems never ending. When it finally subsides, a thick layer of dust covers everything. Your house, your crops, your future. The landscape is unrecognizable, buried under a blanket of despair. This, my friends, was the reality of the Dust Bowl, a time when nature's wrath tested the resilience and spirit of those who called the Great Plains their home. The Dust Bowl wasn't just a natural disaster. It was a disaster years in the making. It was a perfect storm of human mismanagement and environmental factors coming together in a catastrophic way. For generations, farmers had ploughed under the native grasses of the Great Plains, grasses that had evolved over millennia to withstand the harsh conditions of the region. These grasses held the soil in place, their deep roots creating a natural barrier against erosion. But they were replaced with wheat, mile after mile of it. Wheat was a lucrative crop, but it lacked the deep roots of the native grasses. Then came the drought. Year after year, rain refused to fall. The once fertile land became a barren wasteland, unable to support the crops that had replaced the native grasses. The soil, exposed and overworked, turned to dust. Without the protective cover of the native grasses, the topsoil was easily eroded by the relentless winds. The wind did the rest, whipping it up into massive dust storms that blackened the sky and choked the land. These storms were so intense that they blotted out the sun and made breathing difficult. The Dust Bowl was a harsh lesson. It devastated communities, forcing families to abandon their homes and livelihoods in search of better opportunities elsewhere. It showed us that we are not masters of nature, but rather we are part of a delicate balance. When we disrupt that balance, the consequences can be severe and far-reaching. And when we disrupt that balance, there are consequences. The Dust Bowl remains a stark reminder of the importance of sustainable farming practices and environmental stewardship. Life during the Dust Bowl was a daily struggle for survival. The relentless dust storms turned day into night, making it difficult to see or breathe. Families were constantly battling the elements, trying to protect their homes and loved ones from the suffocating dust. Imagine trying to eat a meal, only to have it covered in grit before it reached your mouth. Every bite was a reminder of the harsh conditions. The dust infiltrated every aspect of daily life, making even the simplest tasks a challenge. Imagine children unable to play outside, their lungs choked by dust. The dust was relentless, forcing families to keep their children indoors for safety. The joy of childhood was overshadowed by the constant threat of dust storms. It seeped into homes, covering everything. No matter how hard people tried to seal their homes, the fine dust found its way in, coating furniture, floors, and even the air they breathed. People hung wet sheets over windows and doors, trying in vain to keep it out. These makeshift barriers were a desperate attempt to create a safe haven, but the dust was unyielding. Many suffered from dust pneumonia, a painful lung disease caused by breathing in the fine dust. Hospitals were overwhelmed with patients struggling to breathe, their lungs filled with the relentless dust. Schools closed, Businesses shut down and communities began to unravel. The economic impact was devastating, leaving many without jobs or hope for the future. The dust wasn't just destroying farms, it was destroying lives, hopes and dreams. Families were forced to abandon their homes, leaving behind everything they had worked for as they sought refuge from the unending storm. Faced with such hardship, many families made a heartbreaking decision to leave their homes and search for a better life. They packed their few belongings into old cars and trucks and headed west toward the promise of California. These migrants, often called Okies, were met with suspicion and discrimination. Jobs were scarce and living conditions were often deplorable. They lived in makeshift camps, scorned by some and pitied by others. The Okies' journey was a testament to the human spirit's resilience. Uprooted and facing an uncertain future, they clung to hope, determined to rebuild their lives. The Dust Bowl shocked the entire nation. It showed the devastating consequences of environmental neglect and poor land management. Slowly, the government began to respond to the crisis. New Deal programs provided work and much-needed relief for Dust Bowl families. The Civilian Conservation Corps planted trees to help hold the soil in place and prevent further erosion. Farmers learned new techniques to conserve water and prevent erosion of their lands. Recovery was slow and painful, but the Dust Bowl spurred important changes in agricultural practices. It highlighted the need for soil conservation and responsible land management, lessons that resonate even today. The Dust Bowl serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of human actions and the environment. Just as overfarming and drought led to the Dust Bowl, today's climate change poses similar threats. Rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns and more extreme weather events increase the risk of drought and desertification around the world. The Dust Bowl reminds us that we must act now to mitigate these risks. We must invest in sustainable farming practices, conserve water resources and transition to cleaner energy sources. By learning from the past, we can create a more resilient future. The Dust Bowl was a dark chapter in American history. It tested the limits of human endurance. Yet it also revealed the enduring strength of the human spirit. The stories of the Dust Bowl are stories of survival, resilience and hope. They remind us of the importance of community, the value of hard work and the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most daunting challenges. Let us remember the lessons of the Dust Bowl, not with despair, but with a renewed determination to protect our planet and build a better future for generations to come. Like and subscribe for more.